Are you sitting around wanting something, but you can't figure out how to get it? Been there, done that. Yeah. You know, it's really funny because you can want something really bad, lose weight, save money, buy a house, move somewhere. It doesn't matter what it is. You can want it really bad. And then you can sit around and say, oh, I don't know how I can do it. I don't know how I can do it. You know, there's no hope. I can't do it. I can't save money. How many times have I heard people say, I just can't save money? Or I just can't lose weight. It's not that you can't do it. It's that you just don't have a strong enough why you should do it. Makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. If you don't have a strong enough reason why you need to do something or want to do something, you're not going to do it. You know, I've been on this planet 70 plus years now, and I can tell you, when I made up my mind to do something and I had a strong enough reason why I wanted to do it, I did it every single time. Every single time. You know, I wanted to move to LA. I'd been a dancer. I wanted to move to New York. I did that. But I remember this particular time, it was, what was that, 10, 12 years later. I'd come back from my dance career, and that's another story later. Anyway, I came back from my dance career, and I got into, at the time, aerobic dance was coming about, and I found myself back in my little hometown and decided, you know, well, aerobic dance, I mean, I'm a dancer, I can do that. And so I ended up, you know, really, really good at it. And that's when I started bodybuilding. I competed one time, of course. A girl that won was so big, that didn't work out. But anyway, but when I got into fitness, you know, I think the problem was I've always hated living in a little town. Ugh, because I always fight to be the best. I don't know if you're like that or not, but I like to be the best. And when you're in a little town and you work really hard and you become the best, where do you go from there? Nowhere. And I've always, you know, I moved to New York with dance because I was the best in my little town. I wanted to go somewhere where I really couldn't be the best because I'm always, you know, fighting for something. I'm always trying to achieve. I'm an achiever. That's who I am. And so going to New York was obvious for dance. Well, you know, New York City is the capital of the dance world, and, you know, Broadway and all that. But Los Angeles has always been the capital of the fitness world. And, you know, in all these other cities, big cities or what, fitness is not a priority. In LA, it's a priority. You don't get into the movie business unless you look good, okay? 9 times out of 10. And you have to stay in great shape. You have to fight the aging process, you know, and some of them do it the wrong way. But anyway, that's beside the point. But so I'm teaching dance in a little town in North Carolina, aerobic dance in a little town in North Carolina, right? And I want to move to LA. And I'm like, I sit around, I'm like, but how? How? I don't know, you know, I'm not making enough money. You know, and of course I want to move today, not 2 years from today. So I went to my bank. I borrowed $1,200. Now this is way back early 90s. And I borrowed $1,200 and put it into a CD and paid it off. I knew that I'd pay a bill, but saving wasn't something I was great at. But you know, my motto is Where are you going to be this time next year? This time next year, if you take that one step, where are you going to be? Well, that's what I did. I took the one step. I borrowed $1,200, put it into a 12-month CD, and I moved to LA the following year. You can find a way if you have a strong enough why. That's all I wanted, was to move to LA. I had been talking about it basically since I got into the fitness business. And, you know, that was 9 years, maybe 10, 9 years, yeah. So I'd been talking about it for that many years, wanting to move to LA. And my whole point here is you have to figure out what you want. And then you got to have a strong enough why. You know, if you want to lose weight, and it's great to say, oh, I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. But if you don't have a strong enough why, you're not going to get out there and take that first step. You're not going to change your diet. You know, anybody can lose 20 pounds on some yo-yo diet, but then you go off the diet and the weight comes back. You think you can go back to being that same person. You know, you got to remember, you know, you can't be the same person. Okay? If you're going to make a decision to do something, you have to stick to the plan. And I knew I couldn't save. So I figured out a way to do it. I'd pay the bill, but I couldn't get the money out for 12 months, so I had to pay the bill. Right? So I figured out a way to work around what I wasn't good at. Maybe you're not good at dieting. Okay? Don't diet. Change your lifestyle. That's the biggest secret that they don't even share. Open Facebook and there's all these diets. Next thing you know, it's, you know, you're off that diet because you get sick of it. Now, figure out what you want to eat that is healthy and eat it for the rest of your life. Oh, you can have treat days. Have treat days. Now, the one thing I really stay away from, well, I can't say that. I can't say it. I just took a long trip with my daughter, and, you know, I've cut sugar completely. I have a little sugar in my salad dressing or something silly like that. But, you know, I don't eat cookies. I don't eat fudge. I don't eat ice cream anymore. You know, I don't do those kind of things. I don't need it. You know, I can't live without my ice cream. Yeah, you can. You know, I used to think I couldn't live without French fries. Yeah, I can. Yeah. I've quit coffee. I love my coffee. Yes, it stains my tooth. I hate it. But anyway, you know, it's like, yeah, you can. You got to have a strong enough why. And I always say, you're one decision away from having what you really want. You know, I love a saying. It's like, you know, choose your hard. Okay, I don't know who said it, but it's so wonderful. I use it a lot. Choose your hard. It's hard to be unhealthy. It's hard to get in shape. Choose your hard. You know? It's hard to quit sugar. It's hard to have diabetes. Choose your hard. You know? It's all it is. It's choices, decisions, and always taking that first step. Where will you be next year this time if what you really want, you figure out a way to have it by next year this time? Maybe, I mean, if it's $1 million, you're not going to do that by next year this time unless you win the lottery, which is silly. I always say, yeah, always buy a lottery ticket. You're not going to win unless you do. Don't buy 10 of them. That's dumb. Just say, I don't know where that rabbit trail went, but there it is. But anyway, you know, pick your heart. Find your why. Make a decision. Take a step. It's really very simple. Absolutely simple. I love you. I thank you so much for listening to me jabber. If you enjoy me, please follow my channel. It's going to get more fun because I'm getting a little more relaxed as I practice. But I'm sharing my life. I'm hoping to help all of you, you know, you especially, in any way I can. I've had a fun life. I've done amazing things. I'm so happy with everything I've done in my life. And all the while, friends and family telling me, you don't know what you want. You go from one thing to the next. You get good at something, then you throw it away. That's because I'm the best in the town. Yuck. Yeah. For some reason, the Lord wouldn't let me stay in New York City. The Lord wouldn't let me stay in LA. I went back to New York City after I turned 60 and COVID hit. I was there 1 year and had to come home. And to this day, if I had the money, my little happy butt would be right there. Yep. I love New York City with all my heart. But anyway, I thank you. I love you. Talk to you later.